Have you ever looked back and realized how much of your life you spent worrying about things that honestly probably didn't deserve that much of your energy? At some point, it's okay to put some of those worries down. In fact, learning what you no longer need to carry can be one of the healthiest changes you make. If you feel like you're ready for that kind of quiet shift, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about 5 things that simply don't need to matter as much once you reach 70. Letting go of them can make life feel a little lighter for your mind, your heart, and even your body. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about this like two old friends. Number 1, what other people think of you. For most of your life, you probably spent a lot of time worrying about what other people thought. You smiled when you didn't feel like smiling, you said yes when you really wanted to say no, you tried to be the person everyone expected you to be. But somewhere around 70, something wonderful can happen. You realize you don't have to perform anymore. When you stop living for other people's approval and start being more honest about what you actually want and feel, your relationships can change too. The people who truly love you were never keeping score in the first place, and the people who were judging you, they probably weren't worth all that energy anyway. Your peace of mind is worth more than someone else's opinion. Number 2, owning more and more stuff. There's a special kind of peace that comes from opening a cupboard and seeing only things you actually use or love. Over the years, we collect so much. Gifts we never really liked, little things we put away because we might need them someday, old electronics that have been sitting in a drawer waiting to be repaired for 20 years. And yes, even those clothes you keep saying you'll wear someday. At some point, it's okay to let that stuff go. You don't have to keep everything just because you've had it for a long time. A simpler home can mean a calmer mind. You don't have to clear out your entire house in one weekend. Just start with one drawer, one closet, or one shelf. Get rid of what no longer serves you and give yourself a little more room to breathe. And hey, if this kind of honest, no-fluff talk about aging well speaks to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got a whole community here figuring out this stage of life together, and I'd love to have you with us. Number 3, your old job title. You built a career. Maybe you were a teacher, a nurse, a business owner, or a homemaker who somehow kept an entire household running like a small corporation. Whatever you did, it mattered, and it still counts. But your old job doesn't have to define who you are today. Sometimes holding too tightly to "I used to be" keeps us looking backward instead of wondering what might come next. The women who seem to really come alive in their 70s often ask themselves, "Who am I becoming?" instead of only asking, "Who was I?" Maybe you want to paint again. Maybe you'd love to volunteer, learn Spanish, join a book club, or finally write that book you've been thinking about for years. Your identity was never just your job title. It was your character, your curiosity, your sense of humor, your kindness, and the way you showed up for the people you loved. That part of you didn't retire. Number 4, trying to look young. Chasing youth is a race nobody can win. Once you're over 70, having perfect skin or looking 20 years younger doesn't need to be the goal. What matters much more is being able to live your daily life with as much strength, independence, and comfort as possible. That's functional health, and honestly, there's something much more valuable about that than looking younger. So instead of criticizing every wrinkle or gray hair, take care of the body that has carried you through all these years. Strength training, walking, balance work, and simple exercises can all help you stay capable and independent. Your body has been there for you for decades. It deserves some gratitude, not a constant list of complaints. So tell me, what's one thing your body still lets you do that you're genuinely grateful for? Maybe it's walking around the block, gardening, dancing in the kitchen, riding a bike, or simply getting up and going about your day. Share it in the comments. I love reading these, and I think you'll be surprised by how encouraging this little community can be. Number 5, saying yes to everything. FOMO, the fear of missing out, doesn't magically disappear just because you've retired. But every time you say yes to something you really don't want to do, you're also saying no to your own time, energy, and peace. By this point in your life, you've probably attended enough events, accepted enough invitations, and done enough things simply because you felt like you were supposed to. If you don't want to go, it's okay to say, "Not this time." You don't have to spend hours worrying that the host will be offended. Saying no isn't selfish. You can say no kindly and still respect other people. Sometimes it's simply self-respect spoken out loud. So here's where we land. Stop performing for people who don't really matter. Stop filling your home with things you don't need. Stop defining yourself by a job you left behind. Stop chasing a younger version of yourself. And stop saying yes just because you feel guilty. What's left? You, the real you. A little calmer, a little lighter, and maybe, honestly, a lot more free. If even one of these 5 things hit home for you today, that's exactly why I make these videos. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. There's still so much to talk about when it comes to living this chapter of life well and doing it on your own terms. And before you go, I'd genuinely love to know which of these 5 is the hardest one for you to let go of. Tell me in the comments. Someone reading your words tonight might need to hear exactly what you have to say. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take good care of yourself out there. You've more than earned it.